Hi folks, welcome to the Portal Connector 4.3 release video. My name is Steve Webb. I'm the VP of Product Development for the Portal Connector. So today what we're going to cover is some of the major features that we've released for 4.3. We have an enhanced knowledge base experience, a new activity feed widget, inline template editing for all of our widgets, and some usability feature enhancements, as well as some Dynamics 365 feature support. So with that, let's jump straight into it with the knowledge base experience. So what we have here is our typical demo site. Now if we wanted to add knowledge base articles, maybe a list of the most popular articles, as well as the most recent articles, and maybe some top rated articles, then what we can do is we can flip into our administrative area. We'll find that page. It's actually our home page. So I'm going to click into that home page. Now it's important to note that this new knowledge base experience will work with the old structure in Dynamics CRM for knowledge base articles, as well as the new interactive experience that Microsoft recently rolled out. So you'll see down the side here that we have a series of new widgets here. We have knowledge base and of course knowledge base search. So I'm going to use this knowledge base here and just drag this on here. Just drop it in place. I'm actually going to drag a few of them on there. So it's already loading up our knowledge base articles. So these knowledge base articles, of course, are coming directly from Dynamics CRM. So what I want to do is just configure some of these so they're filtered by most recent or top rated, as well as maybe only restrict them to 3 articles. So what I'm going to do is just open up each of these. So now here we have the article limit, so I want to restrict that to 3 articles. I want this one to be the most popular, so let's go with most popular for that. And I want this to actually open up on a different page, my home for my knowledge base articles here, article details. So done selecting that. And of course I could have sorted ascending, but that would kind of defeat the purpose of filtering by most popular. From there, this specific list, maybe what I want to do is actually remove this date. So this is another feature of 4.3, and that's inline template editing for all of our widgets. So you can see here we have a new list of templates, and I'll go into more detail when I get to that actual feature. I'm going to select my main most popular template and click on save. So there we go, it's nicely formatted, the date's removed, and we only have those 3 listed there. So similarly, I'm just going to modify these really quick. So I want to make this one the most popular as well, and I want to open those in that same page. And limit that to 3 articles as well. Click on save. Edit. For most recent, of course we select the most recent, 3 articles, and open a specific page. So we could have it open in the same page, but because we have multiple lists of knowledge base articles, what would happen is that when you click on one of these articles, the article will actually be displayed in this little square section here. So instead, we want to provide a better user experience by directing it to a full page for that article. So clicking on edit again here, and of course this one is our top rated 3, specific page again, and let's select that details. With that, click on save, and we'll publish this. And now let's see what it looks like. So back to our presentation screen, just refresh this page. So there we go, our 3 lists, of course filtered by those 3 different categories, our most popular. I can click into them, it's going to navigate me to that page. And you can see here that we take advantage of the keywords inside of Dynamics CRM. We can also keep track of the view count, so some of the new features. Very nicely formatted, the same way that you would have it formatted in Dynamics CRM. Now if you really wanted to get dynamic with it, you could have something along the lines of taking those support articles and having them actually recommend or suggest knowledge base articles when you're going to open a support case, or even when you're actually on that form when you're typing into the title field. It'll actually suggest which knowledge base articles might solve what the query is for that support case. So moving on to the activity feed widget. So the activity feed is really good for displaying a running history of what's been going on with maybe this profile, which is a contact within Dynamics CRM. It could be a company profile or an account. Really anything that has that activity functionality enabled within Dynamics CRM or Dynamics 365 would be a good place to use the activity feed. So what we're going to do is we're going to modify this profile page here and add an activity feed to Maria's profile. So flipping into the administrative area, the profile is actually a form, so I'm going to go under my content and go into my forms. And I'm going to click on that profile form to edit that. And you'll see that we have basically that same structure that we have for that profile. I'm just going to modify this just a little bit. We'll add another column down the side here for activities. So I'm going to flip into my layout and open up my grid widgets here. So let's go with a 8x4. Just drag that right there. Let's take this and drop it in there. And then going back to my content, I'm going to find that activity widget. It's down at the bottom there. There it is, activity feed. And just drag that in place. There it is. Click on edit. Now there's a lot of features when it comes to this activity feed. So the first thing we're going to, just change the title. Let's capitalize that. What I've been doing, and you can see here that we have add modes and edit modes, and we have a different page or a pop-up. Because with this activity widget, you can also define forms to modify those activity records. So if you wanted to edit those activity records or add a new activity record, then it would either be defined on a different page, or it could just be in a pop-up where you can add that. Primary entity, so this is when you're going to actually add an entity. This is going to be the entity that's listed first. So I'm going to say task for this one. Okay. Now over on my appearance side of things, I do have all of the activities that I have listed in my Dynamics CRM system. So this will also show any type of custom activities as well. So for each of these, I can select and remove some of them. So if we want task in there because we set that as a primary, but if I don't want emails and maybe not alert subscription or any of these bottom ones down here, I can take those off. And then of course I can customize each of these by saying, hey, for each of those articles or for each of those activities, I want to use an icon, or maybe I want to use a custom image. And you can define exactly the image or icon that you want to use. Here I can say, allow creating new letters, and I can select a page that has that form for creating new letters. Same thing with editing and deleting. So if I wanted to add delete functionality, I could do that as well. The render as HTML is a property for those of you that have customizations within your Dynamics CRM that allows you to add HTML code to your descriptions for your activities. So if you have an HTML editing field on one of those activities, then you can say render that HTML as actual HTML instead of plain text. So for each of those, you'll see that you can do pretty much the same properties as before. Additionally, as I mentioned before, when we're talking about templates, each widget has its own set of custom templates. So I can say, hey, let's create a new custom template for those activities, so we can change the look and feel of that activity list itself. So clicking on save, we have our activity feed in place. Let's just publish this. And now let's go back to our presentation view to see what that's going to look like. So there it is. Quick little refresh here. And now you can see Maria, all of her activities listed down the side. Of course, this template is customizable as well. So if you want to restructure that, you can restructure that. If I, added the functionality to add a task, then of course I'd have a button as add a task up top, or delete. So if I wanted to delete these tasks, I could do that as well. So now on to the inline template editing. So again, a really cool feature. I'm just going to move over to my administrative screen. So what this will allow you to do is now create any type of custom template for any of the widgets that the portal connector has. So going into my profile page, it's a nice feature if you want to granularly control the presentation of anything. So for instance, if I wanted to modify the look and feel of this text box and maybe add some additional feature to it, maybe it's something that does some type of lookup for data, maybe it's a Google address lookup or something along those lines. So editing one of these fields, just click on edit, and right now we're working with the text field. So under templates, you'll see that we have templates for write, read, text area, password, duration. The one we're more concerned with right now is the write one, and it's using a default. If I wanted to create a custom template, I can click on the add button, and you'll see that we have this HTML editor in line with all of the code that is required to customize that specific presentation. And of course, you can customize any element of this, add styles to it, your custom HTML, and so on and so on. And of course, if I save this, I'll call this new template, save changes. Now for any of those text fields, you can use that new template in your field. So selecting the new template, click on save. Again, like I said, it is based on the field type. So clicking on edit now for the business phone, if I go into that templates, you'll see that we have that template as well. So you can customize the look and feel across all of your templates. Lots of functional elements and capabilities there. So additionally, with that template editor, let me just hop out of here. It does work with all of the pages and the page widgets as well. So if I go into my pages, maybe open up that home page. So now if I take one of these widgets over here, the grid widget, just drag it on, drop it in place, click on edit. So you'll see that we have the same template menu as our form widgets for all of our page widgets, and of course it has a list of all of our templates. The only one we have in there is default right now, but if I wanted to, I can create a new one, and you can customize that code and save it as a custom template for that grid. Pretty straightforward. Click on cancel, but it adds that capability of fine-tuning your presentation and your customer experience or your user experience. So now moving on, the Portal Connector 4.3 did roll out quite a few usability features or usability enhancements. Two of them that I'm going to talk about. Let me just back out of this page here. The first one is we found that a lot of times when you're creating all of these forms that interact with dynamic CRM data, a lot of times you want to tweak them. And to get that form on a page, of course, you're in the Pages section. you open up a page, you drag on the form manager widget, you select your form, and then you realize, hey, you know what, I'm missing a field. So what we've done is for that form manager, we've added a little button here. You can see here, edit form. So now instead of having to go back to pages or publish it and go back to pages and navigate to your form section and open up that form, modify the form, go back to your page to confirm that it's there, now you can just click on this edit form button and it'll open up that form in another page or another tab for you automatically. So you can customize it without ever leaving that page to go customize any of the fields that you might have on that specific form. So just a little thing that adds a lot of usability to the portal connector, but just one of those options. Another option that we added to the portal connector, if I click on one of these fields, is more for the user, the front-end user side of things. So what we've done is we've added built-in tooltips. So if you go under the Appearance tab, now of course, I know it sounds simple, but it's something that is overlooked quite frequently. You can add a tooltip to this field here. Click on Save, and let's publish that. Now if I go over to my presentation side and refresh this form, you'll see that we have this custom tooltip here, new tooltip. And of course you can have some pretty detailed information there, so it's not your typical tooltip that you would see inside of a browser. This is a custom tooltip, so you can have some instructional text in there. You can style those tooltips to look and feel any way you like. So it adds a lot of that customization capability and that fine-tuning for that user experience. And of course, there are quite a few other usability features that we did add. So you can navigate over to our site and take a look at that full feature list to see some of these other just cool little things that we've added to the product. And finally, the last item is Dynamics 365 feature support. So with the most recent version of Dynamics 365, Microsoft has added support for multi-select pick lists, as well as virtual entities and a few other things. So we now officially support multi-select pick lists as well as those virtual entities. And virtual entities are a pretty cool concept. It allows you to essentially take any type of OData data source and connect it to your Dynamics 365 in the form of a read-only entity. So now we can surface that information as well through the portal connector, of course in read-only. So with that, thank you for watching the 4.3 release video for the portal connector for Dynamics CRM and 365. You can always navigate to our website, www.crmportalconnector.com/developer-network/release notes, to see all of those new features, new enhancements, as well as any type of fixes that went into the 4.3 release. Thank you.